What's up, guys? Jimmy Brenton here, certified personal trainer, nutrition coach, and cat dad. I wanted to explain the tracker sheets that I made for the LIIFT Holiday Challenge. This is specifically for the LIIFT4 workouts in this holiday challenge. Now, the thing that you're going to be seeing is the 5-day-a-week interactive challenge tracker. That name is going to kill me. But this is going to be the same for the 4-day as well, and just kind of give you an overview of how this works. This is kind of a simplified version of the full one that I use in my daily life for my fitness and my programming and everything like that. But this is a great introduction into getting into these things and tracking your progress and seeing how your habits are actually reflected in your results. So what we're looking at right now is the numbers version, the program called the numbers. If you're on the Excel version, it looks very similar. The colors might be a tad different, and the tabs here are at the top, whereas in Excel, the tabs are gonna be at the bottom. But let's kind of get an overview of all these things, starting with the tabs, actually. So what I did is there are 10 tabs. Now, I created this originally for my wife, Sabrina, and myself. And every single one of these, I do one a month, and every single one includes a tracker, as well as 4 weeks of workouts. Now, I've just called them his and her workouts. So you have her 1, her week 2, her week 3, 4, and then you have the his section, as well as I made the his, I have a background of white and then hers pink. It just makes it a little easier when we're in the gym and fussing about to kind of visually know which one's which, because sometimes we're doing the exact same workout and we'll plug in numbers into the other person's tracker. Anyways, now this one you could use over and over here on the tracker itself. We'll just go over the her version since the his is exactly the same. This start date, I've plugged this in for this specific challenge, but you could actually, using the formula above, you could plug in any date that you want and it will auto-populate the rest of the dates for you, assuming I did this entire thing correctly. I think most things on this page are pretty self-explanatory, but let's just kind of do a row here. So first thing in the morning, I might weigh myself. I'm about 165. I'm just going to give it like 0.2. My waist right now, give or take about 32. It's been a bad month, 32.5. Here's what's up next is workout or muscle group. So this is simply a text-based cell block. So the first one for this calendar is chest and tries, and this just lets me kind of know what I'm doing. Now, this next block is total calories. If you wear a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or something like that, a lot of people like to track their calories for their workouts. So at the end of it, I might say, hey, I burned 249, I just made that number up, calories. And this might be a good way to kind of track, am I burning about the same amount of calories per the same workout every week, or am I kind of slacking? So I wouldn't compare a chest and tries workout to like a back and buys or something, but I would compare a chest and tries to next week's chest and tries and the week after that, and just kind of get a general idea of how many calories am I burning during these things. Am I laying around too much? Am I taking too long of a break, or am I generally keeping up? I think it's just decent information. Now, next column is total volume. That is going to relate to the specific weeks. So this isn't going to populate just yet, and I'll go into that in a second. But let's skip over to sleep. I think this is a really important one. I like to track my sleep every night. Let's say I get 8, then I get 7, and I get 8.5. Anyways, I like to see my average week over week over week be around 7 or 8 hours of sleep. I find people skimp on this, and this is a great way to hold yourself accountable. As you populate these numbers, it's obviously going to start to populate that average for you. The next section is the notes. These notes are meant to be typed in on life. What's going on in your life that week? Maybe it was a hard week at work. It might be something that you want to put in. Your workouts are likely to suffer a little bit. Maybe you had a major project deadline. For the ladies, I like you guys to put in, where are you at in your cycle, right? You're going to go up in weight certain times of your cycle. I think it's really important to take note of that. So when you go back, you can start to get an idea of how your body's reacting to these things so that they can be a little easier to deal with when the time comes. If you notice, like during your period, you always go up 2 to 3 pounds, well, now you're mentally prepared for it and you realize, oh, week 3, I'm gonna be up 2 or 3 pounds. it's not anything to worry about. It's just something that happens, and now I'm prepared for it. That's what I always like to say. So that's kind of a general overview of this basic kind of tracker sheet. Now, let's go back to total volume. This is kind of an interesting one for a lot of people. Now, as we get into this week, now what I've done is I've auto-populated all the moves. I watched all the videos. I hope I got all this right. I mean, he does all 10 reps, 3 sets, but I think I got all the exercises right in this. But what we're gonna do is you're gonna write and note in these 3 sets, how much weight did you use? And you can type over if you didn't get to the 10 reps. Maybe you only get to 9 or 8 or 7 or whatever it might be. But the volume over here is gonna auto-populate for you. So let's say I'm doing decline press. I've got 2 30s in my hands. For some exercises, this is a little nuance. I like to write the total weight that I have. And for others, I like to just maybe write a singular weight. This is really up to you, because the only thing that matters is not so much how much weight you have in your hand, but are you progressing over time? So it doesn't really matter how much weight you write down. It matters that you know how it kind of translates to your workout. Some people kind of freak out about that, but I'm just gonna say I got 2 30-pound dumbbells in my hand. That's gonna equal 60 pounds. I did all 10 reps. Cool, that's 600 pounds of volume, and you can start to see the total is populating. The total in this category is populating. Let's go on to set 2. Let's say I use 60 again. All right, cool, 1200. And let's say for set 3, I decided to go up in weight to 35s, right? So now I got 70 pounds total, but I only got 8 reps in that one. And so the math just fills itself in for you. And this will happen for this entire workout, and you'll see a total here. Now, I'm just gonna skip down to the bottom and pretend like this was the last set of the last day of the week, and it's upright row. So let's say I have, I don't know, 20s. So 40 pounds, let's just say I keep it because I'm pretty tired, 40, and there's my total volume for that. Let's pretend all of this was filled in, and you can go back to your tracker and see that the total volume has now auto-populated. Now, why this is important, because week over week, we want to be getting stronger. We want to be doing more reps, more weight. It's kind of hard to track how your form and your pace is going, but that's something maybe for the notes you could write in. But this is a way to say, hey, week over week, am I getting better? Am I kind of staying stagnant? And then are there any notes or things in my life going on that might be holding me back? But this is a great way to kind of track that week over week. And then here, again, another note section. This is for that particular move for that particular day. How do you feel? Do you have anything to write in? Decline press, oh, I had torn my pec muscle this week, so this is all gonna be lower. Maybe skull crushers, maybe you have a bench, right? And you decided to use a bench this week, or, whatever it might be. Just take some notes. That way for the next week, you can see, maybe where you should start, if there was any caveats to that week's workout, did anything happen, etc. Excuse me. So I'm going to delete this just so I don't mess up my own sheet here. And then the last thing on this sheet that I want to show you guys, and this is more for your notes and just to kind of have an idea when you come back to your tracking system after maybe a few more months, is this RPE. Now, I forgot to put it in here. This is rate of perceived exertion. So basically, how would you rate your workout out of 10? Would you say it was a 7 out of 10, an 8 out of 10? Maybe you just, you had tons of energy. It was a 10 out of 10. Maybe you forgot your caffeine. You got 4 hours of sleep and your boss is up your ass. It was a 4 out of 10. Anyways, you would just write, I'm just going to write 7. You would just write that in here so you can go back week after week and see. So if I did chest and tries and I'm coming back in week 2 to see, okay, what weight should I start with, right? What should I use? And I see a 7 out of 10, I might be like, I'm feeling better today. Maybe I can go up in a few weeks because all these things were happening the week before. It's one of these things that's just more information is better. How you use it is completely up to you, but I've never found more information to be harmful to me. That number doesn't auto-populate or go anywhere. It is just kind of for you to refer back to. Anyways, that is it. Week after week, all these things rotate. Again, I hope I got all these right and watched all the videos correctly, and that is going to give you a complete volume assessment, and it will populate this thing by the end of this tracker. Now, If this is absolutely brand new to you, that's fine. What I tell a lot of people is do your best to fill in as many of these cells as possible. You don't have to get them all. For example, I don't weigh myself on Saturdays and Sundays. I don't want to. It's my weekend. I don't want to think about any of this stuff. That's just me and my life. I do try to get Monday through Friday, regardless of how I feel, regardless of what's going on in my life. I do try to fill those numbers in as best as possible. But sometimes I might only get Monday through Wednesday, something happened Thursday, and then I get Friday again. Again, the more numbers you can put in here, the better outlook you're going to get over how your health and fitness is going, how your habits are resulting in, weight loss or weight gain or inches or whatever it might be. And you can look back at this and say, hey, I've noticed I haven't really lost a lot of weight this month. On average, I only got 3 days a week of workouts in. And I looked at my RPEs for each one and they were all kind of 5s. And I might need to just do a little bit better in order to kind of get that weight off or whatever it might be for you. So gosh, I hope I didn't forget anything. This has kind of been an overview of how we use this tracker system. It has absolutely been a game changer for us, especially in accountability. I know that not a lot of people like to weigh and measure themselves every single day. It can be a mental challenge for you. That being said, I think it is important if you can kind of get over that and you can kind of just look at it as numbers and not any kind of value on yourself, because your weight, you will see your weight changes quite a bit per week. Your inches won't change quite as much, but you want to see a general linear pattern of that going hopefully down if you're trying to lose weight and steady if you're not. But it does give you some kind of accountability, because if every morning you have to check in and do this, it tends to keep you on track without having to pay a lot for a coach or anything else. You're just like, I gotta measure and weigh in the morning, darn it. So I find that it's helped a lot of clients just in that simple aspect. If you're just willing to commit to say, hey, I'm gonna do my best to fill out as many of these cells as I possibly can. Anyways, guys, again, I'm Jimmy Brenton, and I hope it's a great challenge for you. I hope this has been helpful for you. And even if you're not doing this specific challenge, you're not doing these specific workouts, I think this tracker can help you with any program that you're doing. And again, we use these things every single month, and I like to split them into little 4-week things like this, and then come back at the end of the year and just kind of check out how my months go and how I was doing. Okay, I've talked so much. If you guys have any questions, you should have my email by now. I will have some information at the bottom of this video for you to get the, download the calendars, get into all this stuff by body, whatever it might be. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. I'm sorry for how long it went over.